welcome back to We Be Kids again. If this is your first time at We Be Kids, know that there are over 50 recorded stories like this one available at our website at webekids.net. There you'll also find other activities around nature art and crafts and nature activities, and also yoga and mindfulness, all designed to help give you and your family a boost to your well-being. Now today I am going to tell you a story that is called The Young Oak Tree. And this story happened off somewhere in the middle of a field in England. And in the middle of this field stood two oak trees. One oak tree that was hundreds and hundreds of years old. It was very wide and very, very tall. And then there was also a smaller oak tree. Frail and young, it stood in the shadow of the old oak tree. And every day these trees would talk to each other. And on a particularly wet and wild and windy winter's day, the young oak tree looked up at the old oak tree and said, "How do I become old and wise like you?" And the old oak tree said, "The first thing you must do, young oak tree, is plant down your roots as deep as they will go. For you can only grow old and wise if you have strong roots." And the young oak tree said, "But I don't want to put my roots deep down into the earth. It is cold and wet." And the old oak replied, "But if you don't put them down, you will never survive. In the spring, the showers will come, and in the summer storms will rage across the field. You need to put your roots down to grow strong. They will give you the nutrients you need to grow strong branches and beautiful leaves." So the young oak tree put its roots deeper and deeper and deeper into the earth. And when the spring came along, the young oak tree was bathing in the sunlight when it looked out at its branches and it saw these dazzling emerald green buds. It thought to itself, "Wow, look how beautiful I am. These buds are amazing." And it looked up to the oak tree. It said, "Oak tree, look how beautiful I am." And the oak tree said, "Yes, yes, young oak, you are very, very beautiful." But weeks later, the young oak tree felt the buds on his branches beginning to fill as if they were going to burst. And he said, "Old oak tree, old wise oak tree, what is happening? My buds are going to burst." And the wise oak tree said, "Of course they are going to burst. And you will become more and more beautiful." But the young oak tree didn't want the buds to burst. He said, "But please, I don't want to. I love them the way they are. I don't want them to burst." And the old oak said, "Young oak tree, you must know not to be afraid to let things go. Always know that when we let things go, they are replaced by something better." Now the young oak tree wasn't sure about this, but it trusted the oak tree and it let the buds go. And as it let them go, they burst into big, beautiful, fluorescent green leaves. And the young oak tree was happier than ever because now it was bright and beautiful. And because it had these big, beautiful leaves, its branches started to grow taller and stronger. And then it realised that it was getting bigger like the oak tree. And it was very, very, very happy. And as they went through the summer, lots of birds started to appear. And the birds began to land in the branches, and the young oak tree shared itself with all of these other creatures. But as summer faded and autumn was on the horizon, the young oak tree spotted some seeds growing out, some acorns. And it said, "Old oak tree, look, I have these beautiful acorns growing." And the old oak said, "Yes, those acorns are very, very, very beautiful. But remember what I taught you. Do not be afraid to give something away, and know that it will always be replaced by something better." Now the young oak remembered this wisdom, but wasn't sure exactly what was meant. And then an autumn storm came and started to blow the acorns off, and the young oak got very, very worried. He said, "I'm losing all of my acorns. I want them, I need them, they're for me, they're mine." The old oak said, "No, no, no, no. They are not yours. When you give something away, you share it with others. It is an act of love and an act of kindness. Don't worry about dropping your acorns. The squirrels will pick them up and they will eat them, and some of them will get dropped beneath rocks and into cracks, and they too will grow into oak trees just like you and I. Giving your gift is a way that you too can grow." And with that, more wind whipped, and more of the young oak's leaves fell to the ground. And again he got really, really worried and agitated. He said, "Without my leaves, I'm going to be naked and I'm going to be ugly." The great oak said, "Oh, more wisdom for you, young oak. Without your leaves, you will be able to rest. And when you rest, that too is when you will grow." "Okay," said the young oak tree, "I trust you." And he dropped his leaves. And throughout the winter, the young oak tree rested and listened to the old oak tree's wisdom, the lessons he taught her, the lessons of not being afraid to let go of something and trusting that something better will always come, and knowing that to grow is not about collecting an abundance of things, but often by letting go and sharing with others. And also to remember that to grow is also to rest, and we cannot grow without rest. And with that, the young oak thought and thought and thought and tried to digest his wisdom, but it didn't understand fully until the next spring came around, when his buds began to burst again, and his leaves got bigger, and his branches got stronger, and more birds came, and more squirrels collected the acorns. And with every turning wheel, every new year, the young oak got wiser and wiser. And one day it turned to the old oak and it said, "Old oak, when I was just a young sapling, you told me what I needed to be wise, but it wasn't what I expected. And it has stayed with me forever, and I will always remember those key lessons to wisdom, to have strong roots, to trust in things always being better, and to not be afraid to give things away." And with that, the old oak ruffled its leaves and settled on down for the night. And that is the story of the young oak. I love that story, how the young oak looks to the old oak for its wisdom, just like we do as people as well. But wisdom comes in all different shapes and sizes. People often try to give us advice, and sometimes it fits and sometimes it doesn't. What I like about that story as well is that the young oak never really understands until he gets older and older the real magic of that wisdom. That story also reminds me of a quote that I've read a number of times that said, "Never be afraid to give up the good for the great. Another beautiful little message to go with that beautiful little story. And just to recap those little gems of wisdom, in order to grow, we have to have strong roots. We also have to trust that letting go of things is okay, and to know that they will always be replaced by something better. And to also remember that growing isn't about accumulating an abundance of things. Growing is often about letting go. And when we let go, those things that we let go of are often gifts to other people as well. And they help them grow. So I hope you enjoyed that story. Some lovely little messages. Leave us a comment down below. All that we ask is that you share this story with your friends, and we help the world learn new stories and spread them all around the world. So thanks for stopping by at Weeby Kids, and we'll see you again sometime soon. Bye.